In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you. Let me have a seat, please. Thank you very much. Well, before we begin, I'm standing in for somebody who is a special person, and that person is with us right here. The big man. It's not a person than the coordinator of Harcourt chapter. I would like to invite him to the high table because he is the one that controls and coordinates everything. Let's welcome Dr. Martin Stanley. Is that the person we call as PHCC? Yes, sir. Also, we would like to invite to the high table another person that our former coordinator, Pastor Emma, to join the coordinator on the high table. I think I saw Dr. Chris around here from Bulwark. So I also want to invite to the high table. I don't know if it's doctor, but I always like to use the word honorable famous from Bulwark. Please, can you join us on the high table? But sometimes to give somebody title by be confusing to, so we try to use the honorable. So you're welcome, sir.
You will decide.
Honorable Afolabi, please can you also join us at the high table? Afolabi, sorry, please. You know, as I'm a messenger, so whatever they send me, I do. Okay, I would like to call our sponsoring partner, the company that sponsored this technical section for today. We'll call on Honorable Danjuma. Please. Hello, J. Because I just now you go back after the remark, you go back. It's not easy for big active members when they come in, we'll introduce them. So like we said, at this point, I would like to give the mic to the Harcourt chapter coordinator just for his remark as we start the program. Please, once the president or the PE joins us online, we'll give them time to speak as well. So Mr. Coordinator, sir.
Why is he speaking out? Why is he speaking away? Hello, Jay. You don't speak this. Okay, a very good morning and warm welcome to everyone here this morning, including every participant online. Let me begin by thanking EIC. Thank you for moderating the session today. And thank you everyone for being here today. So it's going to be straight to the point. It's not a bit of long speeches as case may be. So we are deeply grateful. We can see quite a number of persons here from the academia, from the industry, professionals, everywhere. So thank you for coming. It's the right thing to do. You're geoscientists or an affiliate, however you choose it, petroleum engineering, whatever your course is, your discipline is, you have a place in NAPI. NAPI, by the way, for first timers, is Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists. So this is where we play. And our ideas find oil and gas. And we are shaping the energy industry in Nigeria. So feel at home, feel comfortable, learn, feel free to contribute, and also feel free to share of your talent, your time, your resources with us. And let's build a healthy ecosystem where we all learn and move NAPI forward in Harcourt chapter. We have had quite a number of things going on this month. You know, we had courtesy visits that we held this month to Baker Hughes, was a very fruitful one. We also, helped the inauguration of the Uniport chapter. Uniport, please give you a shout. Yeah, I will present them. Also, I understand that people from UST, member from UST are here also. Can we have the witness here? Yeah? From UST?
RSU.
RS.
Okay, RSU, right? Was that why did you respond? It's a state RSU. Do I have them here also? Like to recognize you? Don't know where yourself. So is everybody here from Uniform?
Yeah. We have somebody from
From where?
Lafayette.
Oh, everybody should clap for her. And Uniform, much congratulations to you for what you're doing and the passion already taking on. I have no doubt in my mind, this week we're going to do a lot of work, right? We're going to do a lot, and the community is going to benefit a lot. So, moving on quickly, I'd like to thank LOG Engineering Consultants for sponsoring today. Without you, today wouldn't have been possible. So, thank you. And the egghead who's come to share with us, I'm very interested in your area, and we'll see what you're going to share with us today. So, but it's an opportunity to learn quite a lot. Without taking much time, also giving an opportunity for, the academia to make a presentation at our next TBM. So if you have a paper, strong paper, you want to share and get colleagues and peers to really critique. Critique is not criticism. Critique it, to help you sharpen it, or even to learn from you. Please feel free. You can reach Professor Adekunle, and he will get back to us. So thank you, and please do enjoy every bit of today's session. Let me also acknowledge our principal officers. Mr. President will join us soon. The PE also, the Vice President, and also my colleagues, the coordinators, and every member of the Executive Committee would like to say a big welcome to Harcourt, a technical business meeting for today, for June. So thank you. After now, this presentation, there is refreshment, so that you don't rush away. Feel very free to really fill your stomach today. That's what we're doing to so thank you, and you have a good learning session. Thank you.
Thank you, PhD. Well, we're not here for much talk, but to listen to technical presentation. But I've got somebody with a chairman for today, Honorable. When I heard the word SOA, I was thinking it's my initial, because my initial is SOA. So when I saw SOA, I said maybe it's my family member. So I'll give the chairman of education the mic to speak, just a little remark, and also present the person giving us the technical paper. And our chairman today is Honorable SOA Afolabi Peters. Just a little remark, sir.
Thank you very much, the Mr. Moderator, and our protocol to be observed. My remark this morning is going to be very, very short, because all of us are eager to hear our speaker today. So, my name, as I have been mentioned, my name is Sola Afolabi Peters. I'm the Business Development Manager of Towards Services Limited. And without wasting much of our time this morning, I will straightly go to introduce the speaker for today. The speaker is Mr. Stanley Azuka, AK, and is coming from Mease and Revitalising. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Students, professionals, and those online. My name is Azuka Stanley. I'm here to give a presentation on the revitalization of all seismic data being found on but my specialties are not to learn. Okay, so just
The word revitalization simply means bringing out the true nature of something or giving a new life to whatever you have. Can you go to the next slide, please? Like I've said, revitalize means with new life. Go ahead. Today, our professor outline will go with a case study to the Niger Delta surveys. We're talking about some workflows regarding this bringing out of new life. We'll talk about normal conventional seismic data processing steps and CRS, the common relation surface process, which is the game changer. And we'll talk about some examples of CRS in Nigeria as well as in Europe. Next, we'll look at conventional seismic data processing. Now go ahead. This is just a simple workflow diagram of how we came about our new life in seismic. It could be marine data, it could be land, just as I said, but the case study at the moment is on land. When we have our land data, we normally do our normal processing, conventional processing. And after doing this conventional processing is going to stop at towards the regularization before the pre-start time migration. And after that, some class of geophysicists will do things like regularization to make sure that the data sets are properly geometrized. While we will go further to do the CRS processing. The CRS processing covers things like velocity updates, structural shares, gap filling. And after that, we do things like geometry using the CRS gathers or the CRS shortcuts. At that point in time, we do geometry optimization. And after that, we proceed to the CRS tomography if we want to do the pre-start migration. Otherwise, from the regular CRS gathers, we move straight to the start time migration. As you can see, for the pre-start time migration, we can do a retracing, a normal recovery, and isotropic processing. For the pre-start head, same to the K-curve, we can proceed to do things like RTM and FWM. Also, this encompasses things like the cohericity, the neutrality, and modeling of velocities. The next slide, please. Now, when we talk about conventional processing, we talk like if you have multiple service, for instance, you have the pre-mesh processing before you do your mesh processing as one volume, and before you go to migration. We do things like the data loading, you load the size into your system to ensure everything is organized. You can proceed to do things like flexible clicking with partial statics, geometry-based editing, survey balancing of different surveys so you can come to a stable ground. Then you can proceed to do things like first pass editing again, the spiking, surface consistent amplitude compensation. You proceed to do things like granular, stacking velocity, surface consideration statics, velocity stacking again. So much iteration before you do your final perspective noise, before you go to your regularization, then your PSC. But in terms of CRS, after the pre-start, final pre-start migration denoising, we move to the CRS. Next slide. And after the CRS, you can proceed again as you see in our flowchart. You do a PSTM and as well go into the depth imaging processes. Next slide, please. Now we talk about the conventional processing. Let us look at the game changer CRS process. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, let me take the point a little bit easy. On my left, this is the normal NO model. The normal NO model has its concentration on just the location of the retrace. At this point, we talk about reflection. If you're a physics student, you should understand things like the point of incidence, reflectivity, And so now when we do our NMO, we have our NMO equation. On my left, this is just what we get. The normal conventional software we use all over the world during processing recognizes the real trace or the trace of the seismic or the reflected trace as a point at a certain point of the reflection at the reflected point. But to be honest with you, the reflection or the trace does not hit a particular point. This reflection coming in has a wavefront, and this wavefront will obviously take the shape of the contact it needs. That contact area is what we refer to as the freeness zone in physics. You can see from the equation on my left-hand side, it was adopted, doctored, and revitalized, disintegrated to give the equation on the right-hand side. With this equation from the NMO, we're able to derive things like the deep and the curvature. So the CRS model takes into account not just your location, but your deep and so the curvature. This is just a masterful presentation of CRS. Next slide, please. Again, I'm trying to give you some analytical representation of the CRS. On my left is a description of your normal reflectivity. If we have a structure, as you can see, the dome structure there, if you really hit a particular point, it goes back, reflecting back. Just the way you throw a stone in water, you see a ripple. Now, the conventional software sees the reflection trace as a point, and it goes up like that. While on the one on the right, my software, which have been distributed, the ML equation, sees the trace as a wavefront and takes the wider freeness zone of the structure. So you can see, if I have 5 of that normal incident point going slope down and up, I will have those reflections coming upstairs, going up. And if I have 5 of that same reflection, using my software to do the analysis, I will have more wider ripple compared to what we have on my left. What I'm trying to say is that if I have the wider freeness zone, I'm seeing the events or the reflectivity as looking at the freeness zone, and that software is seen as a point. I will have more imaging compared to just 1 point. If I have 5 points, there is distance between these 5 points. So I'm losing some, I'm having some aliasing, losing some continuity of events. But if I have my 5 freeness zone be taken into account, these will overlap each other. And when they overlap each other, you see the consistency, the continuity of events. Next slide, please. Now I'm going to give you structural information for the NMO and the normal CRS. The CRS stacking operator is better adapted to the reflections. It collects energy from the surrounding CMP location within the freeness zone, thereby making the events coverage high. It also gives you opportunity to increase the number of beams in that area. Next slide, please. The stacking operator is limited within the project freeness zone. Also, preservation of photo resolution is taken into consideration. Next slide, please. Next. Next. Now, the CRS technology, the basis, 1, it is fully data-driven. No user interaction needed. Fine. The local parameter set at each point of the volume It's a dynamic aperture handling, both in the lateral and the temporal. In areas with good data coverage, it will improve the resolution with small aperture. When we talk about aperture, we talk about taking into consideration the fluorescence zone and open size. And in areas with poor data coverage, with gaps, to some extent, it allows the gap filling with large apertures. There's also used directional information to improve the gap filling results. It reduces acquisition footprints. And finally, is area friendly. Next slide, please. Now we're going to get into look into some examples in Nigeria and Europe of the service technology. Next slide, please. Now we're going to look at CRS. We're going to look at CRS in the Niger Delta area. We take a survey from the Niger Delta. No name to specify anymore, but this is recent. Next slide, please. Now, this is a section of the seismic survey acquired in 1991. This is a local data. It was processed in 1994 and reprocessed in 2014, as you can see. From this data set, you can see the gap at the top. This gap could not be filled by a previous contractor or by a software. The data looks noisy. Next slide. There's a hole there that could not be filled. Next slide. The whole of this area is masked with noise. You can barely see reflections, horizons, difficult to pick. Next slide, please. At the deep, because of the noisy nature of the data, they try to remove some the noise, and as well the effects of primaries, and the deep becomes poor in imaging. Next slide, please. Again, you can barely see some faults in the seismic section. This is very poor. Now, for the client to look at this, we want to do CRS technology on this. It took them great effort. This seismic to some clients, this is cool. Let us try to reacquire this seismic and get better imaging information from subsurface. This thing is applicable to life. Seismic is physics, seismic is life. If you have, I've seen a friend who has 2013 model of Letters. He upgraded it to 2022. And when you enter that car, you will doubt if that car is 2030. You will think it's 2022. And if somebody buys a 2022 model, you barely see a difference in it. The same way, you go to the village to pick a lady to marry. She's not beautiful. You brought her to the city. She can, when you see it, you know, she doesn't go to party with you because she's looking local. But I tell you that no lady is probably the brand because sometimes married way to marry her. When you take her to the salon, give her home straight, make her up very well, spend money on her, give her good clothes. I bet you. And if you decide to take her to some other educational center, she'll still strive. She'll represent you well. You admire more. And you're not careful. Your friends will admire more than you, which is dangerous. Now, you decided to spend some money on her. You decided to spend some money on your car to give you a taste that you desire. You can also go and buy a new car. You can still go and buy a new model of life. We should later turn back to that one. But if you spend money on your property, even if you have a normal car, if you maintain your car, it lasts longer. So to get value for everything we do, you spend time and money to get the better version of what you have. The client said, okay, this is supposed to go and apply in Seismic. Let us try CRS. Next slide, please. After CRS processing, we could see the reflectivity is coming out clearly. The faults being revealed, gaps being filled. Now, the client can make a decision at this point. Okay, I've seen the maximum strength of the data sets. It's not sufficient enough. Okay, I can decide, I can see the deep. What else can I see? The faults are clear. Let me utilize it more. I can do another simple interpretation. There's some point in this survey you will see some faults you couldn't see them in previous Seismic. But after CRS application, some faults came out very clear, which were never seen. Again, the next slide, please. Next again. This is another area we saw. You can see at the deep. This is true amplitude, no AGC. Next slide, please. Even with AGC, you see struggle to see something that's deep in the old Seismic. But after CRS, you can see some structures coming from deep. So this approach, the client can then make a full decision. Okay, if we increase the offset and there's possibility of seeing some things down. Let us do some new acquisition. If you are not seeing this, it's just like you bring somebody together from the village, they don't. It doesn't speak. You said we want to go and learn how to speak, so you will take him to German school. Even when you take that dog to German school, it cannot still speak. So we say, if you have gone to the bad Seismic before, or an area where there's no reflectivity, such as that's on the right, you can barely sense structure on the right. What can you do to bring it? There's nothing there, there's nothing there. According to our man, say he didn't again. So with this has encouraged the client, okay, after CRS processing, this can encourage you, let us go deeper. And if you apply this style, we can reduce the resolution, we can increase the resolution for better imaging. Also, this CRS was carried out without any form of pin size reduction. We are also gaining more information again on your data set. On this data set, if you apply a pin size reduction on this CRS, what that will do, it will increase the resolution of the Seismic. So with this, the client makes a decision on going further to apply a new Seismic so that you can see what's inside. But however, things you are seeing inside, can you handle them? You have to utilize the data at the shallow first, because from this now, they are doing the interpretation with their pleased with Seismic, looking interesting. I want to see the new features. Next slide, please. Now, with CRS processing, client objectives were met. They complain about the gaps, it was filled. Better signal to resolution was achieved. Image at the deep was clearer. Photo clarity improves. Next slide, please. Now, let's take a sample from the Europe, because we got this technology from the Europe and we decided to deploy it to Nigeria. Let us see the effects in Europe. On my left is a vintage magnetic volume onshore Germany. And on my right is a 2 amplitude CRS processing done with a pin size reduction of 12.5 and gives you this image. If you have the seismic and you go and acquire a new seismic, I don't think we'll that better than this. Again, this is a bin seismic reduction. Next slide. The difference between the normal data set between your bin size reduction, as I said, it's going to increase your resolution precisely. You can see on my left is normal CRS processing applied, improving the image, and on the right is the CRS PSM just to reduce the bin size. Next slide, please. This is another example too from Mexico. On my left is a PSM data processed in the early 90s. And on my right, the same data set processed with CRS in the 2070s, 2020s. With this, if the client sees what they have, it can able to utilize this right-hand data sets more effectively compared to what it has on the left. Possibly we are going to drill on the left, but with the new one on the right, they can make further discoveries and see what they have. Next slide, please. Again, this is an example of Kazakhstan. On my left is the PSM data, and on my right, it is CRS precisely on the data set. CRS can apply to this, and no CRS on the other side. You can see the magic you bring out. These events are existing in the seismic, but are being marked with either by noise or by spatial distribution from the journey and shots. So with the help of CRS and different zone analysis, we're able to bring out events that are hidden in the seismic. Next slide, please. So I will ask again, why rush to shoot new seismic? Expose your own seismic to CRS technology to confirm if you're interested in getting something out deep. Next slide, please. This is what we call revitalization of old seismic. Next slide. With new life. Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll hand back to the chairman.
Please, any Ghana one from our families. We all like this afternoon that he has done a great job since the topic, revitalizing old seismic land survey using CRS technology. I will quickly give a big summary of what he has said for us to appreciate what he has taught us today. He actually started with a conventional processing sequence of a typical land data, and after which he introduced us to the topic TRS itself. When you talk about CDP stacking, it has to do with using the common depth point alone to do the stacking. In contrast to what he told us today, by way of revitalizing our own seismic using the CRS method of stacking, that how to involve considering the present zone when you are doing your stacking. It actually has to do with using location deep and convention within the present zone. And he also went ahead to give examples both in Nigeria and overseas. The example he gave in Nigeria simply tells us that an old data set that is full of holes, excessive noise, poor faulting, poor imaging can actually be revitalized to give us a better image data set. He also went beyond the Nigerian shore by showing us examples from onshore Germany, whereby he demonstrated the advantage of using induction in bin size to get a good and a better image from our old Seismic. And also example for Mexico, which illustrated better imaging, and that of Kazakhstan, that also illustrated better imaging, especially at the deep. With all this that he has given us today, you will not agree with me that he has done a very good job this morning. Please let me give him another. So I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this enlightening talk. And I want to conclude by saying that operators of fields, companies that have old data sets, should please think about this stuff and see how they can revitalize their old data sets by applying this particular technology today. And we can see the benefit that we can derive from it. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Speaker. Thank you all.
Okay, with permission from the chairman, PHCC have this belief that the future of the science lies with our students. So we'd like to hear from that one or two of you what you've learned from this presentation. Remember that your recap might be a ticket for sponsorship to national conference. The last time we had a senior who gave a very good recap. Just the way you understand what has been presented, we want the student to just tell us what you've learned today. The takeaway from today's presentation. Very, very important. We would like to hear from you. Just tell us in your own little way of understanding. We want the student to just give us a recap. Your name, your affiliation, and go ahead with the recap.
Good afternoon. My name is Belema. I'm from the University of Port Harcourt. And from what I've understood today is that no data set is gone, and we can always find a way to rejuvenate it. And for every loopholes, there are always ways to fix them and everything. And there's always an advancement to things that we can do. It doesn't necessarily mean we need to get new methods. We can just work on the older methods, and then we can get the new data sets. And then I finally understood the difference between the CDP stacking and using CRS very well from what I know before. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any other students that want to give us a different view of what we learned today? Please, it's like when you're in a class, you always want to ask questions, so feel free. Even if it's a question you want to ask, you don't understand what was it, but just go ahead. Okay, somebody in front. We want to hear from you so that we know that you are learning.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to ask a question.
What's your name and affiliation?
My name is Chike from Newport. My questions, I have 3 questions I want to ask. First question is, are there limitations of CRS in terms of depth penetration and resolution? Are there limitations?
You can add it too. You can add it too.
Then the second question is, what kind of software are commonly used to perform these CRS? And the last is, what are the major advantages of using this service over the traditional methods in science plan?
First and foremost, there's no limitation. As long as the energy, wherever the energy is able to penetrate, the technology is able to resolve it out. Secondly, there are limitations. At the furnace zone, we mentioned things like the waveforms and aperture. When carrying out the testing in CRS, we consider the pin size and the number of apertures we're given. At each point, today gives you the check that you are not smearing your fault, you are not destroying the data. Thirdly, the software is a proprietary software owned by TIC Solutions in general. Thank you.
Do we see how many anybody that have question in the room? Now from, okay, let's see how many people. Now it's not time for Q&A. So it's just, we'll start from this way down, they will also go online. We have a question online.
Sorry, excuse me.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, thank you very much, sir, for the presentation. My name is Abase Maitwin, Subsea 100. The topic is a very nice one, and the technology is innovative. But I have a question concerning pin size reduction. I don't know, is it done on the software, or I want to know, is it done on the software? Because they made mention of pin size reduction. Because when once acquisition is done and we already know our pin size, are you reducing the pin size on the software again? That's what I want to understand. Thank you.
The pin size reduction is not done with software. It's just an addendum, an addition to after you sell resources. You can do it with normal conventional software. It's been done in processing algorithm software, normal processing software.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Just a minute. Sorry, sir, Mr. Africa. I think you also want to know, after acquiring your data set from the field, whether you can still use the bill sign from the acquisition increase.
Yes, we can do that in the processing center.
Okay. Thank you once again, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Enidio from Subsea 100 Global. Okay, sir, your presentation is a nice one. I've learned a lot, and the technology, based on your explanation, sound very magical. In that you said there is no limitation to it, but I have a concern. Imagine you are carrying out a position where, like in the city, and your data is so masking with noise that it covers your deep and the curvaceous that is supposed to use the CRS to do the processing to boost the continuity of the event. So how do you go about it when you cannot even see your deep and your curvature? How does the technology work? And two, considering 2D seismic and its limitation in terms of lateral coverage, how effective is this CRS in revitalizing the 2D data? Thank you.
Thank you very much. This most of the full sites data set has passed, and most of them are noisy. The noise itself, when you do your CRS, we ensure that we've done an optimal noise within the sense. All we have are primaries that are struggling to see the neighboring events. So the CRS will not enable using the true reflectivity of the seismic as long as energy penetrates into the earth. And as such, if no matter how, if there is reflectivity under such conditions, the CRS will reveal it out. And with the stacking process of CRS, normal stacking is a kind of denoising process. Now we will have an enhanced stacking method. Your noise is suppressed now. Are you okay? 2D. In fact, we started with 2D and almost 3D. So 2D is excellent as well. My name is Joshua from Fields and Wells Data. So although I'm not in the geoscience world as much anymore, but I want to ask if there is an error in processing your data from maybe synthetic seismogram back to the basics. Is there a way, let's say you were not processing from your data, is there a way this seismic data can these CDFs, CRS, yes, CRS detects that there was an error in this processing? You know, we can just sit and say, oh, these are the horizons. We can pick horizons, we can detect faults. What if what you had before is not correct? Can this detect with this? Can we detect that, oh, there is an error in this initial data? Thank you very much. The sales technology, as I mentioned, is data driven. But being the field for so much time, before your data gets to CROs, all these issues would have been addressed. You have to look at to do all the keys necessary to ensure that you are imputing the right data set to CROs. CROs is not magic, it's physics. You understand? So the geometry QC will be analyzed, LMO, bin size, number of bins in the sample, the fold. You do your QCs. You mentioned you clear everything out before you proceed. CRS does not address that kind of problem. You will take care of the problem. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sorry, that one. Let's just complete this way.
I think we're coming here. Oh, okay. How do we take one line?
Please, once we leave here, we're not coming back.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. My name is Kuferi Bernard. Like the former speaker said, I have shifted a bit from two sides, but my spirit is still here. So thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. You've said quite a number of things about CRS technology. And for me, I believe every technology has its pros and cons. I'm not very satisfied with what you said that. So my question is, what are the pitfalls of this CRS technology? Thank you.
No, thank you very much. What I mean low limitations is that at the deep, it mentions something about can we image it? I said as long as energy transits down the deep and there are reflections at that deep, CRS will ask questions. The limitation is pros and cons. I mentioned it. When doing analysis, we do some testing regarding to aperture and base size. We try to ensure that we do not exceed because we are trying to fit holes in the data set and smell the faults. We take our test from basically in faulty areas and complex areas. We compare with the linkage. What are you destroying what you have before or you improving it? These are the back and front tests we do. That's why I didn't mention all the limitations in that. It's already correct. Thank you very much.
But yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Obobi Donka from Revitalising Company. I would like to first of all thank you for the presentation. I thought it was very good the way you delivered it. Storytelling, inspiring. My question is around what your experience has been on imaging main boundary faults, especially around dealing with fault shadowing. Because on one of the slides, I saw that the before and after, even though there was improvement imaging for CRS, couldn't still image nicely the main boundary fault. So I want to just check with you what your experience has been with that. CRS.
Okay, just like I said, we carry out tests based on the data sets. Taking into consideration the bin size, and the aperture selector. Areas of good quality data, the bin size is small, and thus it gives you better resolution more. If we are trying to fill the faults, we look at the data if there are channels that doesn't need to be smelled, fault that doesn't need to smell. We take that as a test to other lines as well. Never lines, not just one. So we see the effect of areas where you don't have fault, effect of areas where you don't have fault. I'll draw a conclusion of the testing. In so doing, we try to be very careful to ensure that those struggles you have before rather than what you have in your tests. Thank you.
Yes. There are pertinent questions online. I don't want to speak yet, but I want us to.
Okay, we just go online and somebody is asking from share your thoughts about the difference between applying the CRS and FWI. Processing and which one give clearer and better images? That's the first question. Anyone wants to go between CRS and FWI?
Yes, CRS is performed on pre-stack datasets. Take into account the source and receiver position. It is you also with step of CRS, you can get better imaging and go ahead and pick better velocities. The FWI does not produce better events. It uses the event that you have to enhance your image. We have carried out workflow where we have conversion processing, CRS being applied, and FWI. FWI is an addendum to the proof quality of CRS results. Just as I mentioned, bit size reduction. You can so after the CRS, you can proceed with better imaging and do FWI and get more higher resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Second question is that I would like to ask, is the CRS technique merely a qualitative improvement to seismic qualitative seismic does and extraction and analysis?
Thank you very much. Just as I said earlier on, the CRS process is AVO friendly. It does not destroy the amplitude of your data set. It's an original stuff. It's a data-driven stuff, not a subproduct. Thank you.
Also, another question. Are there uncertainty in using the CRS method? If yes,
In the wrong aperture, there's no uncertainty.
okay, thank you. Also, we have another question. This is one presentation with speaker from Andrew Musa. Is there any update done to the velocity used for the CRS imaging? And if there is, what exactly is done to improve the velocity? Second is, what advantages does this have over FWI imaging?
That's the question.
Yeah, okay.
You can use your starting velocity on your CRS. The CRS will further develop and improve your seismic for you to pick another better velocity. FWI is an addendum to CRS. It adds to CRS. It does not have advantage over CRS. Just as I said, FWI will use the image produced by the CRS technology, but FWI cannot create that image. So it's an addendum when you use FWI. There's a project we worked on. We apply conventional processing, CRS, and FWI. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll take more questions from the hall before PhD seat.
Good morning. My name is Sam Bonora from the University of Harcourt, and my question is this. Does the inefficiency of the old seismic data have anything to do with does it have any way of limiting CRUS? Like inefficiency of the old seismic data, does it have any limitation or any effect on CRS? Thank you.
Thank you very much. When you acquire a seismic, especially in those days, the only inefficiency we see most of the time is the maximum offset to penetrate deep and also short distance separation and full distance separation. I mentioned in my presentation that in areas of good data, CRS will improve it more. In areas of poor quality with noise, due to this sparse acquisition, sparse distance of the short and receivers, CRS will bring out the true images more from that area and this cancel the noise properly. Are you okay? Thank you.
I'm glad we didn't wait to that. Please, we want to get more questions from you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Olive Mark from the University of Port Harcourt. My question is, how cost effective is running a CRS compared to just acquiring a new seismic?
Okay, let me take this.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the question. That's why we are out to tell people in the oil and gas industry. Instead of buying a 2022 SUV, you can upgrade your 2013, get the same quality there. Because the amount you used to buy that one is not even 10 times. It's cost effective in acquiring seismic than reprocessing using CRS. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Aisha Suleiman from University of Latvia, Department of Geology. So I want to ask, you said we can utilize old seismic data using the CRS method, and we know that tectonic processes happen beneath the Earth's surface, and revitalizing the same data without running another data, don't you think there'll be limitations to it? So you said we revitalize old seismic data using the CRS method. So that I think there should be limitations to that, because beneath the Earth's surface, there are a lot of tectonic processes that happen. So if we're utilizing a data without getting a new data, what are the limitations because of those tectonic processes that happen?
Yeah, just like I said earlier on, the old seismic were acquired with shorter offsets, so they could not penetrate it. Again, we mentioned about tectonic movements. That is 4D you're talking about. If you want to see how any changes have occurred in that area, you can proceed to do those experiments in 4D. But if it's about the old seismic, what can it give to you? Then you go for CRS. What can I get from this? This data is not useless. Even in the world, I don't think anything is useless. Because if the most useless thing in this world can be used as an example. Thank you. Are you okay?
Okay. Let me just add to Christopher also from co-op services.
I'm Christopher Solo from co-op services.
Let me just throw a light to what the young lady is saying. I don't think if you saw what he showed there between 1999 and 2020, I don't think there is any technology that happened around that side that will cause the limitations you are assuming. So leave technology out of it, okay? It's just the data he's trying to revitalize at this point. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So the question I have is relating to what it is that I'm into currently. So I'm into data science with how we use machine learning to leverage data and visualization. So I want to ask if there's a possibility of applying machine methods towards users and if there are ways we can do that.
Everything is possible in tomorrow. But we're not to do that place yet. Now, at the moment, CRS is data driven. If you go fall short of that, you have an image that's not geologic. Machine can give you something different, depends on the product. But at the moment, CRS algorithm is data driven, not machine driven. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for today. Kelvin Israel, a graduate of Rivers State University. Sorry, I'm permit free to go abstract, but I will not go as far as east to the west. So, citing instances from the view of a cinematographer, when we talk about denoising, the original image against the final image, when you take the process of denoising, is not as 100% as it is. So for this CRS process, is there a guarantee to an extent that when we apply this denoising process, the image we are seeing, that the aftermath image we are seeing is the image that is good enough to work with, one, and two, whilst you were talking, you made mention of softwares and softwares. Just like someone like me coming from the hydro and petrol field, where we hear about the petrol, the Eclipse, the VS sounding systems, and the IPI sewing softwares. Is there a software, a particular software that is student friendly? Probably if we have our hand on a seismic data and we want to just try out something just for our personal advancement and information, is there a software we can actually go to, either paid or like Slot Ranger, a student version for us to actually work with? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I believe you were here when I was showing the images of old Seismic and the Revitalising. Which one is better to work with? You've answered the possibility. You will feel like working with a new one more because you are seeing better information compared to the old one. And lastly, for the software, there are some, of course, somebody has some student version of software, which you can do with them. That's not conventional. But on the CRS, as I mentioned, it's a prototype software, only on IT. No student version, sorry.
I think the first question he asked, he was drawing an analogy to that of cinematography. For instance, if I have a picture that is very bad, I have a software I can use to bring it back to life, but it will change some originality to that picture. It can make the person smile. Yeah. It can even affect the way the person's nose looks. So he's talking about the originality after the CRS process has been applied to it. He's talking about the originality of the initial data. That was the first question he made. Right.
No, don't worry. The PhD will answer that question. Let me like to see.
I just want to talk about One thing I want to say, please bear with me. I'm not sure that you need to focus that on me because I'm Give me Stanley. I'm interested in this because I have an inventory of old Seismic data, and we are considering what to do. Yeah, great. Now, if I'm convinced, then something might happen. But can you go back to that presentation, the comparison that you made? Yes. Go back, tell me back to those comparisons. Maybe ask you, and then while they are getting to that, do you mean that CRS is a type of interpolation and regularization? Is that what you mean?
Which
Next
slide?
Continue the one on the comparisons. Continue. Right. This then is the left and right, the before and after. Is the after migrated? Is it imaged? Both. No, the other one is not imaged. The other one is after CRS.
No,
that was
CRS at all.
The other one is before CRS.
Yes.
This one is with CRS, or is it migrated? CRS is not migration.
CRS is not applied to this
Yes.
and migrated.
Okay, that was migrated. Not applied to the migrated. Yes. Okay, fantastic.
CRS
No, that's
is applied to this and migrated.
So does that mean CRS, is it an interpolation and regularization? Is it this one?
Yeah, one has to be one, just one.
Yes.
Thank you for that question. People have been asking this question over and over. If I'm doing an interpolation, I consider my nearest trace.
Yes.
Neighborhood trace. Fine. You can consider CRS has regularization inside this process. It considers not only the location of the data set, it takes into account the curvature of the subsurface structures. So when you're looking at your location, looking at your deep, looking at the curvature is more than interpolation.
No. Okay.
There's an interpolation in it, but more.
So one of the known problems of imaging algorithms is how regularized is your sample wave field. If it is not regularized, some algorithm like type of and the full wave, field algorithms will suffer. So that's why we try to do regularization. And when you do interpolation, for instance, where you have only far offsets, non-near offset traces recorded, then we can create samples. And the reason that is important is, how do you create that sample? You have a long trace, say for instance 0 to 6 seconds, and you sample it every 2 milliseconds or 4 milliseconds. And within that sample interval, you are now doing the comparison. From here, what is the neighboring trace looking like? What is the neighboring trace looking like? How far apart it is? How many traces am I going to fit in between here and here? Based on the beam size that I was talking about. Because it's one trace per beam now that you're trying to fit in. If it is too far, do a test. If I tell you something, report the same thing to somebody else, and then by the time you get to the you will have taken a different shape or form. And there is also the part of the phase. How is it handled? How is the wavelength stationarity handled? Because when you apply your seismic data, wavelength is non-stationary. Then it has to be, you have to make it stationary before you can even go into CRS, because there is no mechanism in CRS to ensure that the phase that went in is the phase that comes out. So those are the things that need to need to throw light around for full understanding. Now, the limitation can be because it involves interpolation as well as a regularization algorithm. What I can tell you is that I can beat my chest and say I am the father of 5-dimensional interpolation and regularization in Nigeria. I went to microscope and studied my daughter back and mistake. And you can see amazing pictures at depth. I used that to win 2012 NAFIC award, the best technical paper. You know, so the low side of this is if you do not have samples around the one you're displaced, maybe you're trying to interpolate for, then it's going to be a guesswork, right? And so the neighboring traces, if you use 2D to interpolate, then there could be deficiencies. It's more accurate if you use 3D to interpolate. Then it's more accurate if you use 4D or 5D to be better confidence. So, and CRS is fantastic for what we've seen, okay? Because we talked about EU and the quantitative interpretation aspect of work, to create a student which cannot be able to publish, which you cannot validate for what it is. You can send an organization to wild goose chase and tell them there is hydrocarbon in that space, but there is nothing. Because why? The method of interpolation has created spurious data. Imagine the CRS has so checks in. I imagine the is offered to those people begin to use it. They don't that. But it could be an additional documentation or additional reference that can point us to, so that for full exposure and coverage, we have understand that we can reference and say from here to here, this is what we know, from here to there, okay, is remit for more than as case review. I don't know, I don't want to take it very far, but whatever you can say around that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Magnus. Dr. Magnus. Dr. Magnus. Before we came up with this, we've also done our research on the 5D compared to CRS. 5D has an advantage, has a disadvantage. When we take, after 5D realization and CRS approach, we have some limitations on 5D. It destroys the near offsets. We've done the precision of that in second. CRS have advantage over 5D. We've taken the data, we run 5D, the same data we apply CRS. CRS comes out outstanding compared to 5D. It's a pity that I don't have that slide of that data shown. When you compare the 5D and the CRS, it's still not comparing. And when you try to relate it with offset and azimuth, the CRS is more stable compared to the 5D. If that can send some slides later on via email for you to see. Thank you very much.
So we'll take the last question. If there's another question, you can meet
yes, okay, thank you. Oh, perhaps my question will be coming from the point of user who interprets. I don't know whether you were able to get feedback from your clients that perhaps they were able to use what you have done with the CRS to solve some of the problems that they have in the house. Sometimes, I'm telling you from experience, that maybe they are not able to resolve some faults, some stratigraphies, which led to a lot of production issues. We try to solve some of these things for clients, but I don't know whether you were able to get a feedback from clients that they've applied the CRS and it has helped to resolve some of these issues. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We have processed 7 solids in Nigeria. From the north, that is Chad Basin. From the south, Niger Delta. All results have been standing. All results are absolutely satisfactory to the clients. Whatever they were projecting towards to, we've achieved it. The interpreters handling the data sets are very happy with the quality of the events assessment. No negative results, all positive. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's another one. I know that some of us will still have one or two questions to ask. Please, you can meet with him. Because of time constraint, we might have to close that here. Thank you, Mr. Leke. Please tell me you can see that the chapter is always on top, delivering well-known topic, and you see a lot of people asking questions when it comes to technical presentation by chapter. So at this point now, it's P or P. That was the more like. It's okay. Okay. So this is a remark for me as the EIC. It's not all about it. We all know that come November we have our national conference. Okay. We'll do the presentation on the flag before the. So at this point, the sponsor face of the presenter. Okay, presenter, second please come forward. I call on the chairman and the chapter coordinator. Gentlemen, the flag, please. So we have to presentation first with our presenter for a wonderful work done.
I don't you guys the clap. We put you on the left side. So,
I love people releasing themselves from
Thank you very much, Mr. Azuka Stanley, for this Azuka Stanley for this wonderful presentation. And on behalf of NAPIC for Harcourt chapter, we want to present you this as an award of what you have done. Thank you very much.
Okay, we will have the presence of our sponsor who will be here. So at this point, I will call on our sponsor, represented by Mr. Danjuma, to please come around. Chairman, you can see join, please. LOJ from LOJ, PHCC.
So what I'm having to say a few things about this is to encourage our corporate members to please seize opportunity to support our ministry. Where is the whole about coming from? So LOJ engineering, power it down if it messes up. I need new power to power it. Okay, so LOJ Engineering Consultants Nigeria Limited, we just want to thank you. You have been a long-standing ally. You know, each time we call on them, they always answer. I know Dr. J joined online, and Dr. J, I'm sure they will convey to you our utmost appreciation, you know, for
Okay.
So on behalf of, you know, nothing, Harcourt chapter, the executive committee and the members, of course, were quite large. So we'd like to appreciate you and present this plaque in appreciation of your sponsorship of the June technical and business meeting for the chapter. Thank you.
Can you turn it? Yeah.
So if you're here today, Who work shall glory? Who work have taken their place? And every other, thank you so much. Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much. You don't know what to do, right? Yes, and we are going to take sponsors remark just 1 or 2 minutes. But just to preach some more, to say, please, our corporate members, it's not much. It's not much to sponsor a technical meeting. You can talk to any of our schools after, talk to me, and this remark that is going to make, you can see it's going all around the world because of people participating online. So whatever you say now, be careful. It's not bad for your company. It's not bad for your company, Mease Energy Nigeria Limited. You know what we agreed that you're going to do. So people are going to be bringing jobs to you now, because of it, wider coverage of this. So thank you very much, and thank you for listening and for doing for us. So can you please take the floor and do the sponsor remark? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of Energy, it's a big honor for us to do this. So I'm going to just share a few slides with you. I won't take the time, just to tell you a little bit about us and what we do. Next slide, please. So we own a Nigerian-owned company, and we've been in existence for a while now. In fact, if you ask my MD, he will tell you we've been around for the past 300 years. That's just to emphasize the fact that yes, we've been around for a while. And we are committed to excellence, and with that, we assure you of bringing a highly experienced and talented individuals whenever we carry out the job. In our quest for excellence also and quality delivery, we are certified ISO 9001 2015 to ensure that quality is met whenever we carry our job. So the key strengths that we carry along as we work is strong technical expertise, integrity, delivered as promised whenever we promise. We have excellent project quality management. Passion for excellence is what also drives this. We have a very good corporate governance, of course. Talked about the ISO qualification, and then we also appreciate and align with stakeholders whenever we carry out our next best. So what are our services? Like we said, we've been around. So geological and engineering is where we do a lot of our jobs in the subsurface. And we carry out most of these studies. These people, they're glad to partner with them today. Of course, our desire is that when they process this data, that data will finally come to us. And of course, that's more business opportunities for us because we do the interpretation of the data. So we look forward to such collaborations that we have with Mease, and hoping that we do more and more even in the industry. So some of our special areas, we have integrated reservoir studies, so we take you through from seismic interpretation, we do petrophysical analysis, we go on to static modeling and simulation studies. We also do prospect maturation studies. We also do in-field unitization studies. That's a very difficult and tricky studies, but I tell you that we have capable hands that we are able to do this. We also do QSI studies, forcing analysis, and MDPs. And MDP doesn't just stop with the subsurface, it even goes to the surface, and that also is an area that we have specialized in. Next slide, please. And we also do project management, most especially for the geosciences and the reservoir engineering. So these are a list of some of the jobs that we have done. We've been around for a while, like I said. So these are just some from 2014 to date. Currently, we are on some studies. We have unitization studies, currently ongoing. We have a prospect maturation studies also currently ongoing. And these are most of the jobs that I told you when we have our expertise. And of course, we've worked for a lot of people, and we've got some of the clients, and they're still looking forward to work with others, like the Renaissance now. Looking forward to that and lots more. So we've been around, and of course, this is just a slide to show you some of the clients that we've worked with. Next slide. So, we'll be glad to hear from you. Please feel free. We are here in Port Harcourt. We're at a room of bar here, popularly known as Cooking Village. Well, the actual name is Hillview. Please, if you want to reach out, feel free. We are at your service. So, thank you very much. Next slide. Thank you very much.
Without you, we won't be here. Thank you. Please let me know what I've done here. Thank you very much. You know, money speaks when people will listen. That's what we've just done. When their money speak, we listen to the TBA. At this point, I'll call on my able and capacity PS, for that PS to please give us some announcement. Dr. Bibi. Please, like the PHCC said, we have enough for every one of us. Just relax, enjoy yourself, and come next time again. But don't be this way, sir, this way. Slide. That's it. Okay, sir. Okay.
At the slide, sir.
That's the review of this.
So, just a quick, some quick announcements to make. We know that at the end of this year, we're going to be having a 3.5 NAPI conference at the hotels and suites in Lagos. Just to remind all of us that the early bird registration is still ongoing. That will end on the 1st of September. We're advised to take advantage of this early bird registration because it comes with some discount. After the 1st of September, you'll pay an extra fee for registration for that conference. Just to also add that the call for abstracts for the conference as well is still open. Still has an end date of 1st of September. The EIC here has given us a new platform for the abstract submission. We advise professionals, student members to submit the abstracts using the centralized platform that's accessible via the NAPI website. A gentle reminder on the NAPI NNGS BD conference. I think it's the 12th edition of that conference. It will be held in the university, Kwara State University, from 28th to 3rd of August. Again, we advise folks to take advantage of the early bird registration. I think that's ongoing until the 14th of July. And also, active members, student members, please turn in your abstract before the 30th of June. So at the end of this month, that's the deadline for abstract submission for this conference. There's a big one coming, and that's the NAPI Golden Jubilee celebration. Right? The NAPI meeting is planned to hold on the 14th of August at Echo Hotels and Suites. It's fast approaching. This event actually is themed pioneering the future of energy in Africa. And the aim of the event is to honor NAPI's legacy over the years. And also it promises to spotlight the impact of Nigerian professionals in the energy sector. For those of us who can make it, the event promises key highlights, technical presentations, panel session discussing the energy landscape for the next 50 years. It's going to be an interesting one. And there's also going to be a gala night and special recognition of this celebration. So please, those of us who can make it, it promises to be a fantastic event on 14th of August. I'd like to wrap up really this with a dues cash call for us to renew our membership, right? This is very important for NAPIC. When we renew our membership, that's where we can maximize the benefits of this association. So please, we're calling on all of us, student members, active members, to kindly pay our dues into the UBA account, as you can see there. And also, if you can contact my wireless number, is also there. We can also help you some directives. Before I go, I've been informed by our speaker that he's open to challenging any student here who's willing to make a presentation during our next technical business meeting. And the incentive there is that if you can make it, I think it's promising to sponsor that student to the conference coming up at the end of this year. Our students, whether you're doing your master's degree or doing your bachelor's, if you can come up with a fantastic, at least we've seen how it goes, come up with a fantastic topic and a presentation. Our dear speaker has promised to sponsor. Thank you very much.
Before you do that form, if for instance you're a student and it's not abnormal to you probably feel challenged that the work is not up to spec, as it were, feel free to leverage the professionals to review your work. Feel free to leverage the expertise you have here in the house to probably help you to take a second look at your work, make suggestions, and then you can come here and present them. That's a fantastic thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ike, for that wonderful opening for our students. Please, I just want to talk on two things. One is about the mini conference coming up in Kwara State University. This is a platform for all students to do their presentation. So as much as some people are here, I want to acknowledge the presence of the RSU students. They're also here. Please, can I just know the RSU? Now, we're back here, let me see you. I want to quickly thank you for it. This is the only stage where you see students number come back to. So, but that was blessed to have you. You're welcome. Okay, so the mini conference, the 12-minute NAPI NMGS conference is meant for you. So just get your paper. I think by the end of this month, get your paper, submit it. And it's like a test, you want to test the water of what presentation is all about. That's where you start from. So that by the time you migrate to the senior level, you are sure you can face people to do your presentation. So you are all, the advert was shown before. I will send it to the president of the two schools so that you can advertise it to your students. And about the main conference coming up in November, that's the big one. But before then, we have our 50th anniversary of NAPI. National NAPI is in the big boys club now. So, but for our big conference, it's almost 2 weeks program. We have the VFT, we have the short courses, and we have the presentation, the technical, and other special. Please, for this year, submission of abstracts is done through Sessionize. It's a very simple platform. Just get there, open it, and submit. We've done a demo. In case some people say they have not used it before, there's a demo. The essence of this is that once we have your brief, we are not going to be asking you for your brief forward. So the other day is just for you to submit because your brief will be saved on the Sessionize. Anytime you submit an abstract, the Sessionize extracts your brief and submit it to the editorial board so that it's easier now for us to know who is presenting. And if you've done a presentation before, the Sessionize will also recognize that this presentation has been done before now. That's where we're moving so that we don't keep on repeating the same papers in out of every year. So that's what we're going to. There's a demo for Sessionize. If you go to our website, you'll see the demo. Go through it, familiarize with it, and submit your abstract. It's very, very easy. So that's what we are. And please, not stop the student who has presented at the student conference to also submit an abstract in the. So don't say because I've done in the mini conference, I cannot submit in the main conference. You can, because all papers submitted will pass through an editorial review, and the best paper will win. Last year we have over 300 and something papers submitted, and we only took 160. You can see how competitive it is when you see people from all over the world submitting paper for presentation. So we thank you for today. You've done so wonderful for your time. It's not easy. We'll be here since 11 and this almost to 1. Thank you very much. I will hand it back to the Port Harcourt chapter coordinator to give his closing remark.
Let me call the Mr. Stable, she was at close. I've spoken a lot today.
I'm particularly encouraged at the turnout of students, and I equally join my voice to that of the presenter. At the next meeting, whether or not I'm here physically, that same student that is providing sponsorship for, I have 50,000 naira for you towards the conference. On that note, I want to bring the meeting to a close, but interaction and others will still go on. Thank LOJ for the refreshment you have provided. So let's just have a word of prayer to close. Yeah. After that, item 7, we're on item 6 now. Item 7 is ready. Okay. The students will go to the back. The seniors come forward. Father, I want to thank you. You started with us very well and we have ended on an excellent note. We ask that you prepare us all for the next gathering, which will be in no distant time. For as many as are interested in the well-being of this association, we ask that you empower them, give them the businesses that will in turn bring them to carry out sponsorships. We ask, O Lord God, that this year will be the best year for us in NAPI as an association in Jesus' name. As we prepare to go, we ask that your presence will go with us. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Right.
Stanley is still available for you.
The student, you can interact with him, but just move to the back and have your refreshment.
That was a single file, and then you can take your refreshment.
Please. That